Welcome to 60 Minutes Nigeria, your favorite current affairs program. My name is Ego Sagmulao. I must say Happy New Year again to you. It is the first edition for 2020. This is a promising year. And of course, we'll be taking a retrospective look at issues that cropped up in year 2019. On today's program, we'll be reviewing the issue of security. We'll be taking an in-depth look at the state of security in this country, especially in 2019. After that, something also cropped up last year, and that has to do with the renovation of the National Assembly, and that has caused reactions from different spectrum of the society. The nooks and crannies of this country, people are talking. Members of the National Assembly are also talking. It has to do with the 37 billion naira earmarked for the renovation of the National Assembly. You are welcome. I have with me very distinguished personalities. I have with me the President, United in Democracy, and of course a political analyst and a communication strategist, Andrew Eigalua. Nice to have you on the program today.
Compliments of the season.
Okay. We also have with us candidates who contested in the 2016 governorship election in Edo State. Bishop Akalame. Nice to have you with us.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Gerald.
Okay. We also have with us a very vocal voice, a legal luminary, and of course a law lecturer with the University of Benin, Barrister Edubo. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, she's the voice for the women, and I know the women out there will be happy to hear her today. We also have with us the Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Southwest Area. Be nice to have you.
Happy New Year to all of you.
So the stage is set. We'll be looking at what transpired in terms of security in this country. Has the federal government fared well protecting the lives and property of Nigerians? That, of course, is a candidate, the very important role of government. Government is expected to provide security. Has this government performed creditably? Or there are other ways they could have done otherwise, or probably better. Let's start from Andrew Eigalua. What's your take? 2019, security.
Well, I would say in the beginning of 2019, it was a disaster in Nigeria, security-wise. The Boko Haram, the bandits, the cattle headers, they were having head sway in disorganizing the entire nation. There was panic and so many deaths here and there as if there was no government in place. But gradually, when we came into towards the end of the 2019, situation kind of improved in the area of security. You know, like the Boko Haram, the normal everyday hue and cry by Boko Haram striking Nigerians every day kind of reduced. The banditry also reduced. I have to give thanks to some governors in the northeast that waded into this banditry, especially Governor Masari of Katsina State, who now went into dialogue because, you know, as at the time he went to dialogue, people were
with bandits.
Yes, yeah. People were saying, why people that are killing, these are a group that has been, you know, marked as a terrorist group and all that. Why are they going to dialogue? But two wrongs cannot make it right. And at the end of it all, we discovered that the dialogue that he went in with these guys paid off. The banditry has reduced, the cattle headers has also reduced. But in the area of security, the one place that we are lacking, and I think it has to, you know, we have to apply another dimension to it, is kidnapping. Kidnapping of individuals for ransom. If you look at it critically, from my own point of view, I have looked at it like most of these kidnapping incidents, they are not stray kidnapping. These are either they are revenging, or they are taking back on the government for, you know, for lack of providing for its citizens in the area of lack of social responsibilities for its citizens. Imagine some politicians, I will go attribute it to corruption also. Some politicians, before the elections, they will use youths, to combat crime, to commit crimes in attempt to win the elections. After they must have won, they will switch off their phones. They don't want to see these youths anymore and all that. It's so painful. When somebody has worked hard for you to win an election, hoping to get something, nobody is a hoodlum to say, oh, let me stick my life for you to win an election, because he or she might be expecting something in return at the end of the whole thing, and you win, then you now switch off your phone, you don't want to see them, you lock your gates against them. One way or the other, they will, get their pounds of flesh back. And this has to do with this kidnapping that we are seeing. Most of them, they are not straight kidnapping. These are planned kidnapping. In the sense, just recently, you see the former judge that has just resigned was kidnapped. The orderly was shot and killed, and at the end of it all, you discover that it is the police, the security agencies that are suffering it now. Because after stealing money from the federal government or from wherever they get it from, they will now arm themselves with security in front and in back, thinking that will help the situation. But you see what's happening now. These security agencies, they can't help matters. So I think the area of kidnapping should be looked into, and actually government has a role to play in making sure this kidnapping reduces.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Igaloa. We'll come back to you because a lot needs to be said about security in this country. But let's get the thought of a coy politician with us today who wanted to rule Edo State. He still has that ambition, I guess. But now, looking at security situation, what's your take?
Thank you very much, my friend. You see, if we must address the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, there's need for us to challenge the activities of some various stakeholders. What are these stakeholders? Talk about the families. It's a stakeholder. We talk about the religious stakeholder. We talk about the government agencies. We talk about the political class. Then when we look at examine the activities of these people, we will not know what we are discussing, because anytime we discuss security in Nigeria, what I see us discussing, we are just discussing symptoms.
How do you mean?
Yes, we discuss symptoms. Nobody has been able to find out the root cause. How do we get here? How come everywhere there's security threat everywhere, that even when you are driving you are scared? That if you are a woman, you wear wig, especially wig, as you are studying, looking for a vehicle, you are scared that that thing will be pulled off. How do we get here? So these are the things we want to be discussing. My brother, I am worried that if care is not taken, most of us will blame the government, equip the police, equip the soldiers. It is not enough for the government to equip police. It is not enough for the government to equip the military officers to combat crime in Nigeria. What is the issue? We need to we need to challenge the activities of these various stakeholders. Let's take, for instance, the family. You will see when parents will tell a child, look at your mates you graduated with in the university. He just came home for Christmas with a car. Look at Andrew. You people grew up together. You own that house. Maybe the young boy is just managing the city, running one or two businesses to see how he can move to the next stage of life. Now, you now see the family pressure coming out. So the young boy will come to the city and begin to think, I think it's hard time for me to leave this business. It's not paying, it's not payoff. It's that time I leave this paid job. The money is not enough. What will I do? Let me go into kidnapping. I heard that if you kidnap one person, you can get millions. Let me go into armed robbery. I learned if you visit any bank and you go there, you can get a foreign currency. Family pressure. Parents don't ask questions anymore. A young boy will just leave secondary school, who has not even written job, got an admission, will be writing versa. The parents will be clapping, will be rejoicing. How did they get that? These are the root of insecurity. That one is there. What about the church? The leaders in the church have very good role to play. What message do they have? But if you go to some churches today, the message you have is money. Money had taken the stage of a good message we're supposed to be hearing of what? Of winning of souls to Christ. Money has become the language, the central point. So a young man is growing. Hear that what the man of God is talking about at the altar every Sunday is money. He'll be thinking of how to make quick money. Nobody wants to observe stages of life anymore. And hence, insecurity. They will not talk about the political class, which is also whose activity as responsible to where we are today. You have refused to create an enabling environment for people to do business. Since people cannot provide jobs for the people. The government, even the state, and those states where I belong, they fail to understand the meaning of tax holidays for small-scale businesses, people who are just starting up. Encourage them. If you feel that entrepreneurship is the sure way out of unemployment, why can't you encourage those who are just starting business by granting them what is called tax holiday? We don't do that. The enabling environment is not there. And hence people are frustrated, they don't want to do their business. What they now think is, let me go and do what I can do to make money. The youth, the young minds today, they are idle. No jobs. If you are looking for people to protest for you now, just do like this. You see crowd of youth, I'll be asking, where are they hiding this? Because there are no jobs. The insecurity you are seeing, you now see them in armed robbery, you see them in kidnapping, or cyber crimes, all manner of crimes, insecurity. They come to the Boko Haram. Now, it's on the domain now that the military should give way for the police officers to take charge in the fight against Boko Haram. The question is this. The police officers, to my knowledge, they are not trained to fight war. Because what they are doing there is war. Because these people, they are highly sophisticated in terms of weapons. How do we get there? Who is responsible? A political class emanates. I said, what we do now is for us to make this government unpopular and make people to hate the government so that I can take over. Let us mobilize some group, youth, give them money, empower them. Now, Mr. Hakalame, we cannot substantiate that. I'm coming. We cannot substantiate that. We can't substantiate that. See, a time has come. Because we don't have evidence. A time has come. It's not as if we don't have evidence. People, this issue we are discussing on several occasions, names have been mentioned. I believe you are from this country. Names have been mentioned. Yes. Why is it that the government cannot, if people indict you say, okay, Mr. Afonso, you've done this, and Barrister said, Mr. Afonso, you've done this, and my pal said, Mr. Afonso, you've done this, and my friend said, Mr. Afonso, you've done this. It is the duty of the government to invite you. Let us know the role you have played in this. The government is not looking at that direction. What you are doing is that you are sending those young boys, young men, young girls to go and die in the forest. Why can't we look for the root cause? What brought into existence the Boko Haram today? That is what we're supposed to fight. Those days were in the village. If you see all those cattle railers, there's a song we need to sing for them. What does that mean? You know, they use this stick. There's a stick they normally hold before. They have small water here. When they begin to push those cows, when we see them, we begin to clap to them. Okay, you are hailing them. You hail them. When you hail them, if you have orange, you throw at them, they will, because they don't understand English, when they grab it, they will smile at you. Okay. If you have water, if you are in the farm work, you see them, you give them water. You see joy everywhere. In other words, you see, we are living together like brothers and sisters. What went wrong? Politics has come inside. There's politics inside. So, most of our leaders do not see life as anything anymore. But what I normally say is that the reason why we have government, it is because of the people. If there are no people to govern, you will not come and say you want to become governor of a state. If there are no people to govern, my versa, you will not come and say you want to become president of a country. So the people, the life has to be protected. Property has to be what? Protected. Okay. So there's need for us to go to the root cause. Okay. Instead of pushing those young men out to go and die. Okay, Mr. Hakalame, we'll come back to you. I think you emphasize an issue here, and that is for government to actually find out the root cause for the different crimes that just ravaging the country. Different parts of the country is becoming very unsafe for citizens. Okay, let's get the thought of Barrister Edugo.
Okay, in retrospect, 2019 has been a very challenging year in terms of security terrain. And we want to say that a plethora of insecurity challenges, security challenges have taken place. You have issues of cattle rustling, Boko Haram, terrorism, insurgency, militancy, and of course lately the state increasing rate of kidnapping all over the country has made the country very, very insecure to live in. And this has endemic challenges on the social, economic welfare of the people. And it's apparent that although the government is claiming, and the government has told us they are doing their best, but definitely a lot more still needs to be done in terms of insecurity in the country, because a situation whereby life is no longer sacred. This year has reported myriads of individuals dying due to the attacks of Fulani herdsmen, Boko Haram attacks, kidnapping. This year alone, we heard the report of a very popular lady, the daughter of a very popular Yoruba leader, being killed on the highway. Our highways were virtually becoming traps of death. Life was reduced to a state of cruelty and a brutish living, whereby people don't care what they do now to get money. All these are major security challenges bedeviling the country. And I want to say that in all of this, we have our military, the armed forces, and the police. When you want to look at it, what efforts the government have said they have done enough, but looking before us, these terrorist groups, these militant groups, insurgent groups, their weapons are far more sophisticated than what our military personnel are carrying out, are holding. And we know that Nigeria has one of the best trained military personnel in the world, but they are not adequately equipped. When you are going to fight people and they are better equipped than you, then there is a major challenge. And then another issue that has bedeviled our security problem is that there is the lack of political will. Insecurity has three divergent views as the root causes. You have religious causes, you have economic causes, you have political causes, like all the kidnappings, unrest in society, politicians using young youth as thugs and all of that to perpetrate crime and make the country ungovernable. All these are caused majorly because of economic hardship. This is a country that has gone through serious levels of poverty, where a growing number of our youth graduate and they remain unemployed. Their standard of living for many individuals has fallen below the normal threshold. And all of these are natural triggers for insecurity. The desperation to survive will push a man to commit any crime. And as a country, although government is spending so much resources in fighting insecurity, they have not been able to address these issues. The issue of Boko Haram insurgency is majorly fueled by religious undertones, and these undertones have not been significantly addressed. And when we look at the security issue in the country, it's in such a way that those that actually have the upper political class have created for themselves their own personal security, which ought not to be so. A country is supposed to be run on the basis of equality of all human beings. Nigeria should develop to that extent whereby even the political class should go out without security escorts, where the life of the poor man should be equated to the life of the rich man. The rich man will go with security escorts going all over. Policemen will die trying to secure their superiors that send them. At the end of the day, all of them have equal life. So if we remove this security from the political class, from the executive class, they will be forced to develop the political will to make the country safe for everybody. Imagine a country as massive as Nigeria, a country where we have close to 200 million people. We don't have security cameras everywhere. If you go to a developed country, once you are committing a crime, they will catch you because cameras will keep you everywhere. But this is a country whereby on the highway, on the expressway, people are being killed, buses are being stopped, and people are being kidnapped, and then enough is not done to stop this trend. I begin to wonder, is it because we are tending to suffer from overpopulation? That should not be the case, because we have the resources. in terms of financial resources to secure the country. And we have the personnel to do this. But when the political will is not there, when the military individuals see themselves as sacrificial lamb, you are telling them to go with guns, ill-equipped equipment to go and fight people that are armed to the teeth. They don't have enough intelligence to do this. It's like sacrificing them. And when they die, little is being said about it. And the new trend is that there is little reporting of all these incidents. We want to say that the present administration, of course, they have done their bit in trying to reduce the spend, because at the time it was so high, it was causing some form of a pandemonium in the minds of individuals. But significantly, the terrain has reduced, but it has not reduced to the extent whereby the individual can move freely. At night in our cities, it is almost like a death wish to move at night in our cities. That should not be the case. That should not be the case. So our government should do more in terms of using technology in ensuring that there is more security in the country. We heard recently there were drones being bought, but we have not really seen those drones being deployed. Being deployed.
Yes.
See our cities diverse of security cameras, our policemen, you see the kind of weapons they are carrying. You begin to wonder if they are really faced with armed bandits, armed robbers, kidnappers. These are weapons. Is it enough to stop or forestall criminal activities from going on? So the government should do more. It's not just enough to have good wishes and pumping money. This should be what well strategized. And then the root causes of all these crimes should be addressed. In other words, the political class, they should be discouraged from using it, because during the time of elections and all that, you see so much proliferations of weapons into the country. At the end of the day, these weapons are never being retrieved. It's now left to the hands of jobless individuals desperate to survive. And they discovered that one of the easiest ways to make good money is by committing crime. You kidnap somebody, the demand for so much money in terms of ransom.
But they must also be aware of the consequences of their action.
They are
because
aware.
the kidnapping, you go into it and you are caught immediately.
Beautiful. That is a major challenge in this country. They are aware, but how many times does the long arm of the law catch up with them? That's the issue. How many times have you heard of incidents where criminals are actually apprehended?
It happened right in Ipape in Abuja. They went to rob bank and they were caught in the act.
Those are just few instances.
Yeah.
And when they are apprehended, it will take years before justice is eventually done. So that even when justice is now done, the cases have been forgotten. So at the end of the day, the procedures for apprehending criminals is not effective enough. That's why you hear when people they make distress calls, even the police are trying to take them a long time to get there. By the time they get to the scene of the crime, the criminals must have escaped. Our response team is not enough. We should have a situation whereby there are also checks to the effectiveness of our security agency. Okay. Authorities whereby you can report and say, okay, I made a distress call, 2 hours, 2 hours later there was no response. Or I ran to the police station and they told me to give them money to buy this, to buy that. So there should be checks on all these organs of government. If we do not do that, we cannot effectively tackle our insecurity.
Thank you, Barrister Ndugongo. But I think in terms of checks, the security agencies, they've actually read out numbers, emergency numbers, where you can reach them. And I think complaints can actually be registered through such emergency phone numbers. Let's get the thought of Sir Best Iriabe.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay. I must say that we are discussing a global phenomenon.
Okay.
And I will say that Nigeria has been having a fair share of worldwide insecurity. But looking at 2019,
yes,
that's the question you posed.
Yes.
Taking a cue from my brother Igalwa.
Okay.
Yes, at the beginning of the year, there was a high level of insecurity
in the country.
Boko Haram was an increase. They were still putting on to some territories, hoisting their black flag and all that. But as time progressed, and there was a spate of demonstrations here and there, killings in the churches, reverend fathers, pastors, and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think that as time progressed, the security operatives, as small as they might be, you know, they upped their game. And we saw that the Boko Haram were going to be decimated. They no longer hold on to territories. But just now they are fighting a hydra-headed war. Since they are not holding up to any territory, they can come out from anywhere.
So it's like a guerrilla war now.
To bring surprises and stuff like that. And so I must say that the security operatives, as time progressed in 2019, they were really, they took them to task. And they were really winning the war, as you can see. And you just mentioned Mbappe.
Okay. Yes, now Abuja.
That's what happened before. That police came right on time, and these daredevil robbers were already in the back. They have planned it out, and we are already getting to hear that even insiders information,
yes,
stuff like that. The police came, it was like a thing. You know,
people were recording.
People were recording.
Yes.
The hoodlums were there, the police were there, they were able to call for reinforcement, and all of them announcing to them, you have to drop your arms now,
and surrender.
Stuff like that, and they surrender. I mean, I give kudos to the security authorities. Now, you see, how many, we are about 200 million people. Have you ever asked ourselves, how many police do we have in ground? How many millions? The police force, are they up to 1 million? That will police 200 million people that ought to be in every nook and cranny of the country? No. So if you look at this, the atmosphere in this whole war, you cannot help but give kudos to them. They are doing their very best. There's no question about that. Okay. But having said all this, I must say that Nigeria today as a country is suffering from a high degree of moral profligacy. And we are suffering from what have been called an anthropological poverty. Okay. And I will explain this.
Okay.
Now,
I was just going to ask you.
Bishop Akalame was talking about the root cause. Nobody actually talking about the root cause of crime. You see, the home has been broken down. The parenting has gone to its lowest end. As a parent, you are the first educator of your child. Okay. If you are a Christian, I dare say that the home is a citadel of faith formation. In other words, if you say you are a pastor or a reverend father or whoever overseer of the church, remember that your home is the first church. What the Latin we call ecclesia domestica, the church at home. Yeah. Who is the head of this church at home? The parents. Okay. But it has broken down. No moral talks, no time for parents to gather together as a community of faith in the home, to pray, to advise your children. When we were growing up, we were told, our parents, as you are going out now, you know where you are going to. You know our family. Don't spoil our name. We have earned the name here. Don't worry, slow and steady.
Wins the race.
I believe very strongly that slow and steady still win races. But our youth don't believe in this. And parents don't have the time to sit their children down, give them moral talks, straighten them up, give them good education. Yes. They don't have the time. Yeah. Everybody are chasing money from pillar to post. The parents will leave home very early in the morning only to come. Maybe around 12 midnight, and so the children are already sleeping, they don't even know it. If you drive around the city of Benin, you are going to see women like yourself, New Benin market, still selling tomatoes at 10 p.m. in the night. What time will such women have to parent their children? So we don't look at those issues. We always tell government is the cause. What have you done to bring these children up? And of course we must retool our educational system. Yeah. The 3 H, the head, the hand, and the head, the mind, and the hand. We have lost all those. There was a time they brought 633 system so that when children goes out of school, they're able to get something doing.
Yeah, vocational
skills. Yeah. We don't have that anymore. That's why the other time when Governor Bassey came, he said he was going to attack that, and he went to the Benin Technical College that went comatose. If you knew that college when Okomudia established it, it was better than any university in West Africa. It went comatose, it rotted away and nothing happened, and then if you go there now, things are beginning to happen. So we must begin to tackle some of these things from that angle. Having said that, anthropological poverty, a lot of people today, the so-called nouveau rich, you know what they are doing? They are not talking about what they will eat now. They want to amass money, keep them in bank for generations years to come. They are afraid of poverty. They don't want to come back and say, oh, I want to amass wealth so that 10 years time, 20 years time, I will still be there having money and all that. And where did you get this money from? Lazy money, lousy money from political patronage, money you didn't work for, and you are getting all of this. And at the end of the day, you find these nouveau rich people. They go along with chauffeur-driven cars. You call them Jeep, black Jeep. I call them Black Maria, as a matter of fact. Then they bring all kinds of policemen to begin to guard them. You see, Chicken Achebe made it clear. He said, if a man goes to the bush and brings home an ant-infested wood, you won't be quarreling if lizard will visit you. So this nouveau rich, they go ahead with avalanche of security operatives. What message are they sending to the young ones? That there's something in the hole, and they go after you. They go after you. So what are we talking about here? They go after you and say, that thing you are hiding, for which you are parading, you are having this military operatives around you, want to find out what it is. And they come to you. That is the truth of the matter. You see, so people do not want to, like my brother said, the bishop, no segment of society is spared, including the church, our constituency, including the church, including the academia. That is why nothing goes on. Everything in Nigeria is about money. The Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil. Nigerians are lovers of money. As much as we're going to be lovers of money, we're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to manufacture anything.
But money can be earned. Money can be earned.
Of course,
the right way.
Money was earned
legitimately
before, but not now. You don't have. Tell me. Listen to me, my brother. You see, Bishop was talking about telling the truth. The director in the federal ministry, the director, you go and see the marshal of the bill. Nobody else. Where did they get the money?
Okay.
Look at the salary. Go to the salary they earn. Yeah. Nobody has asked questions. This director, assistant director, you remember when assistant director was a billionaire who was feeding fat from veterans' money? And nobody has
that's corruption.
All over in Abuja and all that. Nobody was asking any questions.
Okay.
So Hapu said that the followership, we are not doing enough.
Okay.
We have been, of course, the followership appears to have been conquered. So they just fold their hands akimbo. I said, well, it's their time. When my time comes, I try. The followership ought to ask questions, like they do in Europe. In Europe, everybody are policemen. What's happening to that place? You just phone the cops and say, look at what is happening. This man in this our neighborhood, all of a sudden he brought this. Please find out what's happening here. And they close in on you. But nobody does that here. We fold our hands, we are clapping at them for them and stuff like that. So, as long as parents are not training their children, the product of such home will not have anything to it. What they will do is to attack you. Is to attack you and get whatever you have. I told my friend the other time, who was always going with five policemen and all that. In spite of those 5 policemen, the day they came over to him, they got him down. Got whatever they wanted and all that. So he goes apart now with no single policeman. You see, there's a country called Costa Rica. They don't have police moving all over the place. And we asked question, why is that? He said, our greatest defense, the president of that country, once upon a time, about 1986, made a statement. Look at your country. You don't have so many policemen, you don't have soldiers all over the place. He said, yes. He said, you know what? We discovered that our land was fertile. Costa Rica, meaning the rich coast. And then what we did was to fight, to wage the war against hunger. When you wage the war against hunger and everybody have food to eat, nobody's going to look at the other person. Therefore, our greatest defense is our defenselessness.
Thank you very much, Sir Besiri. I will come back to you. Matthew Aloa, what's the way forward? Now, we've seen what has happened. We've seen the lows. We've seen the successes recorded by the federal government in 2019. But what do you think should be done or ought to have been done that have not been done as we look forward to 2020 now that we have entered?
Well, in my own opinion, what I think we should do, my advice to Nigerians and Nigeria as a country is the eagerness to make money should reduce. The applause for rich people with unquestionable wealth should reduce, especially in the church. You know, I continue to wonder. I've lived most of my life in Europe and I was baptized abroad. It is only in Nigeria, here, you go to all night, all day, working hours, they open the church, in the night, in the morning, instead of people to go to work, they won't go to work, they go to the church, and our leaders, our church leaders, our famous church leaders, sorry for saying this, they are one of the root causes of Nigeria problem today. They've so hypnotized Nigerians to believing that if you don't work, you can get money. If you don't do anything with prayers, money will come. Or bring the little you have, I will pray you, I will double it for you.
No, but I don't think there's any church that does that. I don't think so.
My brother, it is everywhere. Action speaks louder. I don't want to mention their names.
No, I know.
So, what am I saying? And our politicians too, let them commonize wealth. If you are a governor or a House of Rep, senator, and you are able to acquire 1 or 2 houses, let it end there. Don't store cars in your compound, stash money abroad. It's only in Nigeria you go to a politician's house or a Nigerian house, you see a pile of dollars and pounds in cash. Whereas the real owners of this currency, they use credit card. They are all indebted. It's only in Nigeria you see such money. So the craziness about wealth in Nigeria should reduce. Let us at times commonize it. Because once they steal this money, what they do, they run to the church to donate. By the time they donate some amount to the church, you see blessings, showers of blessings, praying for that person because he has donated out of the 20 million or 100 million he stole from Nigeria. And he has come to give them 1 million. You see prayers upon prayers. You don't ask why. Most times I tell my wife, don't jump into conclusions. If you see something happening to a particular person, have you investigated? Do you know why? Do you know if Nemesis is catching up with this person? Don't just start saying, oh, I wish. Like a case in Uniben recently, they said an accountant in the accounting department raped a young girl that went to pay money in the accounts or something, a student that went to pay. I said, during working hours, because my wife worked in the court. I said, how is that possible? During the course of interrogation, I discovered that the father of the girl is a policeman. And I said, okay, maybe Nemesis. Maybe cases has been brought to the father in the office as a DP or whatever. He subverted the case. Somebody that was right, it made the person to be wrong. You know, people can swear for you. It will happen to your own daughter. So things like this.
We don't have that.
So
we don't have that information.
Of course. So our attitude to applaud words or personal growth must stop.
That's a good one. Bishop Akalame, way forward.
Yeah, the way forward is that.
Or there are things you think federal government.
Yes. Let me speak to the conscience of the government and parents too.
Okay.
As of this morning, I got information that from UNICEF that on New Year Day, about 23,000 plus children were born on New Year Day in Nigeria, second to China.
23,000.
23,000 born on New Year Day. Now, let me tell you something. If you go detail, look at them, analyze the parents of these children, discover that people who are poor. Why is it that poor people believe that the only thing you can do is to bring a lot of children that you cannot train in school? You can't even feed them. At the end of the day, they will just grow up on their own. You just give birth to children. You allow them because you cannot take care of them. They just grow up on their own and become problem to us in the society. No, it's an issue. If we don't look at this issue, I look at that.
Former President Ibrahim Babangida said, 4 to a woman.
See, it's an issue when you see parents give birth to 10 children. You know you cannot train in school. You know you cannot give better life. They just grow up on their own. Most of them grow up in the streets. By the time they grow up, no education, no job. What they're thinking is how to steal.
They become wise.
They become trouble to the society. So parents, they have problems, they have issues. They have activities to what is called an issue. Then let me talk to the political class.
Yeah.
You can't. Most majority of them, they are coming to politics because they believe, they have this mindset that politics is business. I want to speak to them that politics is not business. It's not a business venture.
So what's politics?
Politics is a means of meeting the needs of the people, do for the people what they cannot do for themselves. Service to the people. You are coming to serve the people. Not coming to acquire material wealth to yourself, acquire all the money, marry so many wives, buy a lot of buildings everywhere. That is not what politics is about.
The FCC goes after some.
We need to. That's why today, you see, today the insecurity here every now and then. I have said this on this program. By the time those who are poor are more than those who are rich, all of us sitting here, everybody in this country, we are at risk. That's why you see, there was a time I sang a song here in this studio. I sang a song for you because by the time these people are there, that's why it says to go to any function now. You see most of them are with a position coming to occasion with 10 police officers, 20, because they know the secret that the people who are outside there, the poor, they are so much. So my life is at risk. Let me equip myself. How will you create a problem? You are running for the problem. Let me see how you can solve a problem. Stop collecting people's patrimony, the people's money. Create job. You see, it beats my imagination when I see a governor. We say that government have no business with business. That is an irony of life. You don't have a business with business, but you have a business with money. When the money is not there, you can say you cannot provide basic infrastructure, you cannot deliver. Who says so? When the government go into business, what you do, you create job for the people. When you go into the business, after creating job, you'll be getting money from that business that will form your IGR. So when you begin to forget all these things, we run to Abuja here and there, you cannot create job. You just be floating. If the feed bottle is not filled, you come and say, please, there's no job. And the youth are there, no job.
We're going to come back to you. You've made your point. We're going to come back to you. A quick one, Barrister Edowo. What do you think the government should do to actually curb insecurity? A quick one.
Although the government, the extant government has put in so much concerted efforts in combating crime, and they have performed creditably well in this aspect, I feel they should also look into the issue of using technological advancement as another instrument for combating crime. In other words, we should have cameras, they should invest heavily in security cameras in all over the area space of Nigeria. They should invest heavily in equipping our military and police personnel with adequate military weapons and weapons for combating crime within the country. And of course, the morals of our security agencies should be seriously addressed. They should be given enough peps here and there to increase their morals in terms of combating crime. And then the root causes of criminality, endemic poverty should also be addressed. And this can be addressed by also addressing the issue of unemployment in the country, and of course access to basic infrastructure. If we can develop this nation to such an extent whereby there are hospitals, designated public hospitals, whereby the poor in society can receive free medical attention, those that are seriously impoverished can have access to some reasonable amount of food, the increasing rate of criminality in the country will be significantly reduced.
Thank you very much. So, best area, but just move straight now to the National Assembly. Different reactions. What's your reaction? 37 billion has been earmarked for renovation of National Assembly. Are you comfortable with it? You think the National Assembly, they are doing what's right?
The money appears to be big.
Okay.
But I'm an advocate of maintenance culture.
Okay.
And that has eluded us in Nigeria for quite some time.
Yes.
And if you go around Nigeria, you're going to see structures that were built several years ago, decaying.
Okay.
You see, there's a parable in Benin. Don't allow anybody to tell you in Benin that you always use new things to do things. But you always do things with new things. It's a cost.
Okay.
Yes. We don't have maintenance culture in Nigeria. If you go to the National Stadium, the swimming pool that used to host world-class athletes, it's now having danger for toads, cockroaches, and all kinds of things because nobody, maintained it.
Okay.
If you go to the National Arts Theatre in Gomun, that was built those days during the Festa 77, it's a shadow of itself. You understand what I'm saying? So I will sue for maintenance. Whatever you have, maintain it. Ogomudia built some offices over 34 years ago. They went comatose. They were lying prostrate for 34 years without any attention. Yet, government offices were rented apartments and stuff like that. So I must thank the government. If you go there now, it's been built. Now, the National Assembly is not a home for any particular politician. Whoever is going to maintain it, whatever they are going to use, when they finish their tenure of office, they will leave. Other people will come. But so I'm not averse to renovating the National Assembly.
Okay.
What we go against it, let us look at the money that is involved. Is there any subterranean move to make somebody rich because they want to renovate the National Assembly? Those are questions we'll be asking ourselves. But to leave it fallow without renovating, we have widely traveled, my brother. Yeah. You see in Europe, all of a sudden, they will just be renovating a building. And you ask yourself, what's wrong with this building? They said, no, it is said already that after 10 years, you must address it. I took somebody to Rome one day. I said, I want to show you the place. They call it the Appian Way. That road was built in the first century. It's better than any road in Nigeria. Better than any road in Nigeria. When it's time to maintain it, they just leave it and maintain it. First century. Where into the first century, for God's sake? So the question we should be asking, who are the contractors? Okay. Was there any need to spend such money now? Is it expedient for us to spend such money? Are there not areas that are crying for urgent attention as opposed to that? Those are the questions we should be asking ourselves. Okay. But as to whether it is good to renovate or maintain structures that are existing, I think we should do that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ahigaloha, what's your take?
My own take on this issue of 37 billion as budgeted for innovation, to me it's shocking. But like he said, for somebody to have, given a budget of 37 billion, they've looked at it, the nitty-gritty, what is needed to be changed, what is needed to be replaced and all that. The different contractors, I think they brought their own estimate to get to that level. Like he said, that maintenance culture should be there. Instead of, trying to say, oh, we want to relocate National Assembly to another place again, we want to build another one. This one is obsolete. And that one will go up another 120 billion or 150 billion. What will Nigerians say? It is the amount that is the problem. Is it worth it? And I would suggest that in such situations, because at times politicians, they do funny things. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to stay 4 years in this place. How do I make my money? Let me tell them that, oh, let us remove the roof. Let us renovate and bring, extravagant budgeting. Then after they approve, we now renovate with 20 billion. Yeah. And these are monies you can defend when the situation warrants. Yeah. We renovated. So my own advice in this issue of 37 billion for innovation is the civil society groups should come together and act as a committee to monitor that restructuring or renovation job. Not just one. Civil society groups should monitor it so that at the end, whatever, if it's the roof that is being removed, they will go and find out the cost of the roof. If it's the chairs, everything, so that the figure will be accounted for.
Okay, thank you, Egala. Bishop Akala, make quick one.
Thank you very much. You see why people are complaining about this renovation. There's nothing wrong in renovating the National Assembly. The issue why people are complaining is because we have a lot of issues affecting the common people unattended to. Our roads are bad. The roads are not being attended to. No electricity. This issue are not being attended to. Most of them today, if they have headache, they travel out of the country just because of headache. Yeah. The infrastructure in the hospital, they are decaying, not attended to. So that's why you see that when you hear that huge amount of money, 37 billion naira to renovate House of Assembly, National Assembly, to me, it doesn't make sense to me because of the institution for ourselves. If go to some developed country, they will just do that. Nobody will hear because life is better there. Quality life, everything you need is there. You don't have money, you are sick, go to the hospital, they will treat you. If you don't have money, you go to school, you go to school. Yeah. Everything is just working. So nobody care whether they are renovating or not. But we have issue on ground. People are suffering. And we want to spend our money to decide to renovate National Assembly. Is it leaking? What is wrong? What is wrong with the building? They are still using it, still very fine. They should leave it. They should divert that money to construct our roads. They should divert that money to standardize our education. That money should be to be environment to health sector. National Assembly. What? The money they even take to as millimeter and call it salary is enough for them. There's nothing wrong with that duty. It's just, you see, they are just creating another venue to siphon the common patrimony, to take our money. That's the issue.
A quick one, because time is not our friend.
Well, why the idea of maintenance, the culture of maintenance is encouraged there? It is my view that this same gesture should also be both divested to other segments of society. We have the healthcare sector, we have the educational sector, we have our infrastructures, our major roads, highways. We even have issues of using rail as a means of transportation. If we have the resources as we have to maintain the National Assembly, which is made for the upper class, the legislation, we should also have the resources to take care of issues that affect the common man, like our health institutions, our public schools should be renovated, our roads that are being utilized by all Nigerians, and so many Nigerians, a number of Nigerians have lost their lives on the highways due to bad roads and other challenges. Resources of the nation should also be utilized in this sector, because at the end of the day, it is good to maintain what you have, so that the culture of just throwing away and getting new ones is what dispensed with, which is wasteful.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I must commend you. Your contribution today very immense. And I believe that our viewer out there, you've enjoyed your time with us. The very first edition of 60 Minutes Nigeria for year 2020. I hope you've enjoyed my guest. Very wonderful guest. Thanks for being a part. Next week, by God's grace, we'll be here again to dissect all the national issues. So, gentlemen, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. And once again, Happy New Year 2020 to our viewer out there. My name is Retrospect. See you next week. Thank you, madam.